Hey, what's up, y'all? Waiting for my guy to show up here. Oh, there he is.
Yo.
What up, Lance?
I'm gonna move this. Oh, you know what I got? I'm gonna put it on my whiskey barrel.
Murray's telling me somebody's auctioning off the sand at
A little house decor on the whiskey barrel.
Murray's telling me that they auction off the sand in Surfside. I think that's a fake bid. I don't think anybody's gonna get paid on it. There's a shit ton of sand there. It's not like it's a pretty big beach, Surfside Beach in Miami. It's on the north side of Miami Beach. That Brady retired from, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
Good to know, Murray. Good to know.
Murray, why did the chicken cross the playground to get to the other slide? Oh my God, that was corny. Wow. I just caught that as soon as I read it.
How's everybody doing? You were at the track yesterday. Did you win?
The ponies, dude. I probably bet. So I went with these ladies to the ponies.
Ladies, huh?
One of their grandmas is a degenerate. She had the rollie on, the mother of the rollie. She was drinking Buffalo Trace. Like they drink. They probably had 10 drinks. We had like the suite. And they bet big money. Like they were betting like 100, 120 bucks on the horse, doing like the trifecta boxes and the exacta boxes. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll go. And I'll be honest, I was betting on the worst horse to win. You know, the one that pays like 30 to 1. I didn't win. I probably lost like 160 bucks. I win every now and then, but you win like, 15, 20 bucks. It wasn't worth it.
Like anything else, right? Like there are experts. There are ways to get edge and to handicap it. I know there's people that like, they know the turf speed. They know the jockey somebody wrote in there. Like, the conditions. Is it hot? Does the horse like heat? All kinds of shit, right? But I'm not willing to put my time into that.
It would have like an analyst note, like horse finished in the back of the pack this time, expect more of the same. So I was like doing the contrarian, like run well, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bet on this horse because the odds, right? Dude, the analysts were actually pretty good. Like they were like every race. I'm like, it's complete opposite of stock analysts. Like if someone told me to buy NVDA today, I'd be buying puts on it, selling it, like it's a complete opposite of the stock analysts. So I thought it was funny because these analysts were actually right,
Well, the thing about stock analysts is it's tainted, right? It's like, a lot of these guys, like I put a thing out and I'm going to show you guys something in a minute. They're telling people to buy China, buy these Chinese stock. Like they've been like, like Mike Wilson, he's a big head of strategy at Morgan Stanley. He was out and he was like, oh, you have to look at international stocks. I'm going to show you guys. Let me share my screen. I want to show you guys. I was looking at this because they're selling shit. They're trying to get people to buy this bullshit. And look at this. Yeah, China, super sexy.
China has ripped more than anything in this world.
But look at this. 5 years, dude. 5 years. Your Hong Kong, Chinese listed stocks, like the majority of Chinese equity is listed in Hong Kong for foreigners to invest in, right? Minus 41% in the last 5 years. And like, this is like with inflation and everything. Like even Kathy was able to pull out a 9%er over 5 years. NDX 88%, S&P plus 53%. Even after last year, where we're at right now, or where we closed on Friday, these guys lost 42%. So they're sitting there and just like, okay, you guys got to get exposure to these crazy people that they're flying freaking balloons. Like over.
Yeah, we shot down the balloon. I mean, obviously that's why the market's down, but I saw that. That was my only fear for the weekend was China
stuff.
Yeah, it was the balloon, and we did. If you guys want to go, Sean in the chat posted it. Well, you're already on Zoom. I'll be honest. Zoom is like, I don't like being on Zoom. I feel like for like COVID, and I feel like we're over that. So we're trying to get the setup cool, but we do live stream on YouTube too. So maybe after this, go subscribe to the YouTube. Just crush the open, turn on notifications, all that stuff. But hopefully we'll be off Zoom soon because I'll be honest, I hate Zoom.
But look at this Baba. Let's look at Baba for a second here, right? So these Chinese names, like the US listed one, so Baba's a US listed one, right? They ripped first. Like the rest of like the Nas was like slow on the gun to start the year. These guys ripped first. So that's kind of interesting. And now almost like a full retracement, almost a full round tripper for BABA since the beginning of the year. So I don't know what that means for the rest of like growth land, but I thought it was interesting.
Even the China EVs are starting to get sold off, and Tesla's been ripping and stuff. China's so weird. Like you could have like BABA down 3%, but you could have like Baidu up 5% on the same day. Like it doesn't, it's kind of odd how it works. Or like PDD up 5%.
But like, this chart's going to look kind of similar too. Like they led the way up. It's a better chart than BABA.
Parabolic, yeah.
Better chart than BABA, but it's back down. It maxed out at what, like 107, and this morning it's going to be in the 92 level. I don't know. I mean,
there's like, you see the other names like IQ, the Netflix of China. Look at that one. IQ is just, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Stock's like tripled, off the low.
Look at IQ. Let's look at IQ underneath the hood for a second here.
Oh, it's horrible, I'm sure.
$7 billion market cap, right? Short interest, 49.5 million shares. They don't even tell you, like, I mean,
you don't know, the accounting's all fraud. They probably got the headquarters are mom's basement while they're playing on
30 billion in the People's Republic. I mean, I don't know, dude. So I got into like a little bit of like a you know what old men do, right? Like we have like these like threads, like my golf buddies and my old like college buddies and shit. We just talk smack to each other and say, get drunk on our couches. And because we're all like, we got balls and chain. We're not like you, the pirate.
You're not free like me.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
You're not free like me, where you could go have wine night last night and meet some honeys at the bar with a bottle.
I'm at soccer games on the sideline, like I'm doing all that, but I love it. Whatever. I wouldn't trade it for a thing. Been there and done that for a lot of things anyways. But so I get into like a little beef about this thing where the guy's like, this one guy's a little bit more left than me, a little bit. And he was like, you should be happy they shot it down. And I'm like, 5 days later? Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, dude. I mean, but here's the crazy part. The crazy part is the reaction by the Communist Party was you guys you guys are offsides. You guys overreacted. Like, let's see how you react to having like a big red, white, and blue Uncle Sam float hanging over Beijing tomorrow night. I think we should do it just to F with them, but I don't know.
It would probably get too polluted. We would probably have to like wear a mask while flying the balloon because we can't breathe the air over there in Beijing.
So let's look at the US like macro for just a second here. That's my little 2 cents. I know a lot of people hate that stuff. I know a lot of people love that stuff too.
You have a lot of people, I feel like, who are already thinking of the Super Bowl betting. Like the junkies can't get enough. We might have to look at DraftKings after this.
Do what?
You might have to look at some DraftKings and Penn. Everyone's talking about the Super Bowl betting.
John's asking us not to talk about the stupid bowl this year. John, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. You can put your earmuffs on. I don't know, whatever. We don't. This isn't Burger King. We're not cooking it your way. So we'll get to making money. Don't worry. But let's look at this NDX for a second here. Right?
Not a good open. Not a good open today,
dude. So we had a parabolic week last week, but the close last week was shit. That was shit. And we had a fake out squeeze in the morning, right?
Yeah. A lot of the stocks was up a lot, like the Coinbases, the NVDA, the AMD, and they rolled over hard. They rolled over hard, right? And so why did that happen? Do you think this strong jobs number was like a lot to do with it for Friday? I think there was a gamma squeeze with the Fed. Caught a lot of people, and that's why you kind of had that initial down, flat, and then rip. Because you got to figure too, the options were pricing a pretty large move. But I think I don't want to say the squeeze is over. Like if all the Carvanas and shit stocks, but I think that played a role on why we went up so quickly and kind of that parabolic. And I think it was just starting to ease off on Friday afternoon. So if we have it again. Yeah, but I don't think we're going to have such a aggressive move to the upside. Is this a number that we need to pay attention to? Like the jobs number, I think, is the only economic number I really care about at this point. The CPI is kind of whatever. It's convoluted at this point anyways. But you got to really pay attention to this. What is it? I mean,
a lot of this is weird because a lot of people dropped out of the job market, right?
That was the excuse with, even back in the day with Obama, and they were saying, oh, well, look at jobless claims decreasing. It's like, no, people dropped out. Like they've been unemployed for so long.
I think 2.5 million people we lost in the labor market. It's a lot. It's a considerable amount of people. But anyways, we had 3.4% instead of what 3.6% is what they were looking for. Strange days indeed, right?
Yeah, and I know I heard some chatter yesterday about Powell. Being the market might have ripped so much too because Powell was shocked on the inflation, how quickly it was coming down. Because you got to figure the Fed has been obsessed with inflation, or they were.
This dude has missed every major move in the last 24 months. He's going to start understanding what's happening now. Come on.
Yeah, remember even with Janet Yellen with inflation.
Yeah.
All that, but I think obviously that helped a lot of the shit stocks, squeeze so much and stuff. So we'll see. We have Powell this week, right? Wednesday.
We've got Powell. Yeah, he's talking this week.
The market has been liking him talking though now.
I think he talks up the market. I think we might have some more selling to start the week, but I think he talks it back into rally zone. The irony being that he's trying to talk it down, but he's talking it up while he's talking. That's the irony, right?
You think Powell and all them are starting to sprinkle in? They're saying, hey, our duty is done, and now Powell and all his buddies are starting to get long, trying to make that real cash.
I still think that invariably this is a dip to buy. I don't think we do a full round trip. I know a lot of bears are out there and they're licking their chops and they're thinking like we're going to take back all of this year. I don't believe that to be the case. We looked last week at the retracement, but I think if we can, what were we looking at? Like another maybe 300-400 points from here. We had 200 on the Nasdaq, so maybe up I don't know, maybe down another 3% this week, 4%, and then bounce hard from there. That'd be a base case for me on the most downside.
But you have to figure too, we have so many of these Nasdaq growth stocks up so much that even a pullback would, I think, healthy in a new bullish.
Oh trend. Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome.
If you're like, hey, what are you right now? I would say we're both pretty bullish. Right.
You got to lean bullish with this. You got to lean bullish with this, but you can't the FOMO that people get on this day here. Like I was talking people off the FOMO cliff.
Yeah. It's hard to buy when the market's up so much.
People going nuts. I'm like, let's get a little bit of a pullback and then start scaling into this thing a little bit. Today would be today's close might be a nice day to try some stuff. There's going to be some saber rattling geopolitically. So that's going to be a little bit of a disorienter in terms of news bombs. But let's look at some stocks. You want to look at some stocks?
Yeah, why don't we look? Barbara says NVIDIA. Let's pull up NVIDIA, and then let's look at maybe some DraftKings and some growth.
Okay, we got some cool earnings this week, but NVIDIA
still have earnings too. And I know people were scared because Google and Amazon were
got down. This junky pen back on my radar. God,
I'm down so much.
Lord help me.
No, I don't want to look at pen. A pen needs to go up 50%. So I don't.
Yeah. So
it looks like a perfect trend line in the video, doesn't it? Oh, you're on a minute.
Okay. Yeah, that was a minute chart. I'm a junkie. I'm always looking at minute charts on my trade. It's funny because on the Bloomberg, I don't trade on my Bloomberg. It's only institutional trades happen on Bloomberg. They have this ESMX platform. I don't use that anymore. I use that as a professional, but on Bloomberg, I'm always looking at daily charts, but on TradeStation or Thinkorswim, I'm looking at minute charts because I'm trading short-term, right? Short-term stuff. But yeah, this has been just a massive move, right? From $140 to $207 this morning.
So a move back down to what, 190-ish? Is that where there's prior resistance? And right around there. It's
a consolidation point. That's a fair point.
That's a healthy move.
That'd be healthy. Yeah. But you can't, the point that I always make is if we went from 140 and then we topped out at 220, is $13 pullback, is a 5% pullback enough? Probably not.
I think if you go sideways there, if you hold 190, 180 and go sideways, that's good.
But sideways means a few days of this consolidation. If we go sideways here, then maybe try some more. But to the first pullback to be in this morning, I don't know. Might be a little bit. Might be a little
Yeah,
bit.
or maybe let's say you buy 10 contracts, maybe you buy 2 or 3, and then you buy 3 more, 2
Right.
more.
Right.
You know, Chevron, I don't think oil is good at all. Yeah, I don't think you want to be in oil. I think you want to be in shit stocks, growth stocks. I think that's the fun. I mean, look how bad. Yeah, the ARC stocks. There you go. There you go.
I think. Let me just comment on this oil stuff. The oil stuff sideways for me. Like this might be a decent place to try like a reversion, but this was a bad move. Do I expect to take out like the whole? I don't know. I don't think so.
There's no money to be made in oil or gold.
That's the point. It's sideways right now. The main point is it's sideways. It's not the action. That's not the action. So let's look at some action. We've got Robinhood Wednesday after the market.
Oh, baby, yes.
Am I talking your language now?
Oh, did you see Coinbase? Did you see Coin move?
I did. Yeah, let's look at Coin. Coin's getting crushed this morning, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. Dude, do you want to look at Coin first? Let's do that.
Coin. I had Coin weekly calls. They went up about 20x if I would have held them till Friday. Did anyone hold their Coin calls? Let me know in the chat if you did.
Was that a trade that you recommended? Coin?
Yeah, on Monday. I saw bull put credit spreads, got long calls. On the weeklies, like a true junkie. I had the 63s.
What day?
The 63s, and it traded up to like 88, 87.
Yeah. That's an awesome stock. This is a stock to trade. This stock's back in action for sure. Coinbase. But that being said, if we're looking at it now from like a technical level,
I couldn't touch it.
No, I mean it could pull back to it could pull back to 60. It wouldn't like today. Today is the kind of move it could make.
The implied vol is so expensive too in the options, probably because you have reporting and stuff. It's very hard to trade in the options right now because volatility is so expensive.
Let's look at Hood. Let's look at some of the earning plays this week. We got some fun ones. This stock has done some parabolic shit too. What is that? I mean, not as crazy as NVDA. I guess the 30%er this year. Not terrible. Let's see what the options look like.
I bet you they're implying at least a 10% move. At least.
For the weeklies, stocks trading at 1062. Yeah.
10.5. So about $1.20. Or so. And what's this? So what? About 12% or so.
Let's look at what they imply. Let's look at the under the hood, what they expect from the earnings. Hold on.
Nice job, Kevin. 206% coin.
Sweet.
206% is amazing. Did they make Sam Bankman-Friedman sell his stake or freeze it or something in Hood?
I don't think they liquidated it yet. I don't think so. It's probably like, the government, dude. They're gonna like probably just like hold it for 3 years and argue in court until somebody, watch the stock go to zero.
My favorite was the guy said he had like 100K, yet he's got what 50 mil in Robinhood or 500 mil or something.
Dude, don't make this guy boils my blood because they let his racket go on forever because he was Sleepy Joe's #1 fan. But anyways, we've got Hood, right? These guys had a 30% upside surprise last quarter, and the stock traded up 8%.
That ain't nothing.
The stock doesn't move as crazily on earnings as you would think. In my first blush, idea of what the stock should be doing, I would expect like 15-20% moves in this all the time. Right?
It's an implied vol killer. It doesn't move, kind of like a Google, Amazon, where it doesn't move over the expected move.
Yeah. Average 1 day move.
So I think I have 30 grand in a structured note in it. So I hope it goes higher, but I mean, I guess if you want to trade it, maybe you just get long some Feb at the money calls and just spray it squeezes and the market goes parabolic again. I mean
the ties go to the calls in my opinion still.
Yeah.
Like, why would you trade a put on this? I mean, maybe the puts are cheap, obviously, compared to the calls, but these guys give a slight bit of like, because they're going to talk about the quarter and then they're going to talk about what's happening now. What do you think is happening now in trading land? I think it's back to party town. I think people are going freaking ballistic. So a little bit of like, common sense goes a long way in these situations too. They're probably going to, whatever happened in the fourth quarter, they're going to say is much better now, because it probably is much better. Now. The stocks go up, people trade more, assets under management go up, everything goes up. So, in my mind, tie still goes to the bulls. You got to look at it from the calls. I don't know why you would look at the 4 days when, even if you go, it's, like.
You could buy the Febs probably for a dime more or so, right?
That's what I'm saying. But even like, let's look at March. Give yourself like, let's say, an extra 30 cents.
Yeah, I'm not going to March. Just too long. I don't even buy March calls for swing trades.
Yeah, but in case you get stuck, you're still in a bull market. You're in a bull market. You're in a bull market. You could have a bearish. The problem with now, in my opinion, is you could have a bearish week where you got the Nasdaq down 4%, right?
Yep.
That's going to wipe you out if you're just going out to next. That's something to consider, I think, this week in particular.
We have a couple good questions here. Randy, why is the market so hot when the country is going to shit? Kevin talking about implied vol. Well, you have to realize, guys, there's a couple things. The economy and what's going on doesn't affect the stock market. The fundamentals don't affect it. Like, that just doesn't happen. The only thing that moves stocks is price, right? Price and sentiment.
Yeah. Oh, my guy's asking me about EEM.
Yeah.
EEM.
Why is implied vol so high? What are we in? Earnings season, right? What are we seeing in the market? Even if you look at the S&P, huge moves every day, higher or lower, right? 1%, 2%, 1.5%. So the implied volatility and options, it doesn't matter if it's the S&P, the Nasdaq, Google, a boring ETF, crap like that, everything is going to have high implied volatility. So the market makers are going to make you pay more for the options because stocks are expanding their range, right? So when
that's also why, a lot of people think this is a common like, I guess, like, amateur mistake is something I want to say. There's a period of time where you're like in a changing of a regime, so to speak, in the market. So we basically just went from like a bona fide shit market, a bear market,
boring shit market,
to it was a dead market too. Like, the only activity that happened in like December was tax loss harvesting, selling to just like take losers off your book. Nobody was really buying stocks. They were like, why am I going to buy now? I'm just going to wait till the new year. So then the light switch came on in 2023. We had a massive January effect and everybody started buying stocks again, led by, like what you said. And, I noticed this too with the burn notice, the shit stocks that got beat the most, right? So now we're in a different regime, but there's a period of time at the beginning of a new regime where option implied volatility isn't quite properly priced yet. Because it's like, there's a whole community of like traders and stuff that still don't believe that you can have a meta move of 30% on earnings, right? Like, they don't believe that's on the upside. Like, that's a possibility, So for me, you're much more likely to see this on the upside than on the downside right now in this environment. So whenever I'm looking at a situation of possibilities and probabilities, there's only four things that can really happen. You could have a massive up move, a small up move, a massive down move, or a small down move. If you can take massive down move out of the equation, then it's like betting football. If a team can't win in a blowout and you have like a no point spread, why would you bet the team that can't win in the blowout? Because you don't know the scenario. You'd rather have more scenarios in your favor, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And the scenario now, I think we keep talking about, is bullish,
Bullish, on the upside, right.
And for the questions of why is this happening? Why do we have this euphoria? Why are stocks moving so much? 2023 has been a trader's market. When you can look at the ATR or implied vol and stocks, it has expanded so much because we're not seeing, Coinbase move 2% a day. We're seeing Coinbase move 8% a day, higher or lower. You're seeing Tesla went from moving 2-3% a day to moving 5, 7, 8% a day. So when that happens, those are the stocks you should be focusing on trading out there. Like, I did some stock AI, it's a chat GBT stock. Stocks been moving like 10, 15% a day. you are darn right. I'm going to be trading, whether it's day trading or short-term swing trading, these names, because there's opportunities that going back 2 months ago, even
Look at
December,
this stock.
you didn't
This,
have any opportunities.
I love this chart. I love Uber.
I love Uber. Dude, I had Uber calls last week.
Yeah.
$1.30 to $1.90 the next day.
Yeah.
And I told them because I was a wimp. And then I was like, oh shit, they have earnings.
These guys are clearing before earnings. They're clearing the previous resistance of basically the last 6 months, which I love. If you're already getting that out of the way, then you have like this open goal. You have like green grass you can run to and hit a touchdown or score a goal or whatever. There's no more resistance there. There's no more defense. You're playing offense. So if we look at Uber's earning estimates, let's check that out.
Uber could come out saying, hey, we lost $1 gazillion. December sucked. We're going bankrupt and our CEO stepped down. But our outlook for January has
That's
been
what I'm saying.
And February, people were traveling.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, we have a new CEO who worked at Popeye's Chicken and hopefully has good experience. And the stock will be up 20% tomorrow.
So look, 20%. So exactly. So the average move 6.5%. And yeah, we're in a little bit of a crazier time. So they're pricing in a 9.5% move. But I still think 9.5%. If they say, I think it's low. Look at this. They've had a 19% move. They had both of these last moves in terms of the history of what this stock has done on trading day are much bigger than what's implied. And we're in a more bullish new regime, is what I'm saying. The market makers have not caught up. So if I have to pick a better trade, I think
you can do Lyft. I believe Lyft is Thursday. Look at Lyft. Look how shit that chart is. But you got to figure out Lyft. There was some buyout rumors in Lyft at the beginning of the year. There were some rumors they were going to get bought out. But look at Lyft. You have Lyft reporting Thursday. If you want to play a correlated play, for Uber, you could buy Lyft calls. Obviously, we're saying calls.
But Lyft had a much worse call. Like Lyft is weird. Like look at even pre-market. Lyft, and I do these link trades. I do these pair trades because like Lyft is actually like. Lyft is getting hurt. Lyft is lower end Uber. Let's call it what it is. It's like poor man's Uber, right? And Lyft is having a different experience than Uber right now. If you look at this morning, even it's down 3%, and Uber's up. Uber's up this morning 2%.
Wow.
So I don't necessarily think that Lyft is going to act as good. I'd rather just play this freaking stock. I think this stock could trade 40 on good earnings. You can buy the Feb 17s.
You probably just buy 35 calls for $1.
There's all kinds. Any of these calls up to 35 look decent to me. Look like a decent risk reward. I think we're done, dude. I think we hit the end of the day.
Oh, wow. All right, I got to go upstairs. I got to get on my machine. All right. Well,
we had a good crowd again today. Thank you guys for joining. Hope you guys survive another fun week in the magical markets. Sign up for Joy of the Trade. Sign up for our Telegram. Sign up for the new Money Crew. Be at all of our stuff.
Hopefully, we'll have a new brand and a new website soon.
I appreciate all of y'all coming out early in the morning and not drooling on your pillow like the United States that we have these days. I'm talking about the younger generation.
Yeah, and guys, remember, when the market
LFG
is standing like this, dude, have some fun. You don't have to trade big. You can trade small. You could trade often, but get some reps in. It's a good market. It's moving, and just get some reps in to start your Monday. You don't have to go big and stuff like that, but do some base hits and get ready because
Barb's asking me to spell it out. This is a show, but we're bullish on Uber. Like, do with it what you may. This is a show. This is not a trading service. There will be a trading service. You much more specific for show that the entire universe watches. You want the good stuff, you got to pay, homie. I'm sorry, but I'm bullish Uber. Do with it what you will. Sorry, Barb. That's the best I can do. And again, this is not Burger King. I'm not flipping burgers here the way you want them. Neither is.
Well, dude, I'll go to Burger King tonight now. Hey.
Oh, I'll eat Burger King, but I ain't working at Burger King.
Hey,
I ain't working at the King. Anyways, all right, Pirate. Love y'all. Peace. Take it easy.